introduction.
It's recording.
Oh, it's recording now? Okay, there we go. Welcome back to The Flame.
Should we be introducing ourselves?
I don't know.
Does it matter?
Do you guys? I feel like when I tag us and stuff, that's enough of an introduction. We can't do all the work for them.
Yeah, find out who we are.
Today's another day we're doing a double episode, so by the time you see this, we're still in the same outfits. So this episode will come out in 2 weeks. You know what we can talk about first, because we just had sneakers released today, is Nike versus everybody except resellers.
You talking some at 3s?
Yeah. You got early access on?
Of course.
Figured. Oh. So you didn't miss out, but it's crazy. It's like, so what were we talking about that originally made us want to discuss this? I think we mentioned it on Tuesday and they were like, no, let's save it.
I don't remember.
There's so many things to say. Oh, did you look at the article I sent you about the VP's son?
Yeah, it's not a surprise.
No. However, it's like, it's annoying when you think of how many people they're suing, like smaller companies they're suing for like copyright infringement on their sneakers. But then when you think of like people that actually want their sneakers, nobody can get them because everybody's botting them.
I do feel like they are trying their best. They're moving really slow, but I feel like that's classic Nike when it comes to any type of like lawsuits, things like that. I feel like they are very calculated, as they should be. But I do think that they're cracking down. It's just not fast enough for us.
I mean, yeah.
But then again, somebody just bought 350 pairs of Nike.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Yes.
$350,000 worth, was it?
Was it the Tiffany's that you were saying?
It's the black the black Tiffany's.
Yes. So exactly. So somebody was able to buy $350,000
and posted it.
Yes. Yes. So to me, it's like you can't be Nike going after these smaller companies that are making shoes in your likeness, but different. You can't do that and then also like allow this level of like botting reseller chaos to happen. Like you can't do both. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean for me like the sneaker game is just depressing for me now.
It is.
I still like what I like. I'm gonna get what I can get. Whatever, but like I'm not excited.
Do you remember going into like stores and being able to buy sneakers?
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Like fucking Foot Locker, bro. Like
yes.
I want to go back to a Foot Locker and get a pair of Jordans.
Yes, without having to like get them in a raffle.
The fuck.
And the fact that Goat owns stock in Foot Locker also just always rubbed me the wrong way.
What?
Yeah, Goat owns a little bit of Foot Locker.
Get out.
So no, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's like, of course they're gonna backdoor some, like half their stock because they are getting the money either way.
I miss the Foot Locker employees with the ref jerseys. Like, bring that whole era back.
Yes.
For sneakers.
Bring me my shoes from the back. I don't want to have to win a raffle and wait in line to get my shoes.
Like Extra Butter, shout out to Extra Butter, they be hooking me up, but Extra Butter like sometimes tries to get me to join the raffles. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Like I'm not joining your raffle, you know? This is not what I think the sneaker game should be anymore. And I get it, we're moving with the times and stuff like that, but like...
Well, especially when people that have been buying sneakers for longer, you're like trying to tell us, like I remember being able, like if you can remember going to a Foot Locker, being able to buy a pair of Jordans, going to any smaller little like skate shop and being able to buy like anything, like Dunks, like from a skate shop. Like you could walk in and they would just be sitting there.
Yeah.
Like if you're old enough to remember that, you should not have to do
it's depressing.
the chaos that you have to do now. Yeah.
Sure.
Like there's no reason for it.
Yeah, there's not. And it's just because the internet with the generation behind us, I think, and the hype that comes with the sneakers now, which look, can we talk about where did the hype even start with the dunks? Like what?
I don't know.
We were wearing fucking dunks that now cost $5,000, like on the playground.
Yes.
You know, like I don't get it.
I don't get it.
What is the correlation?
I have no idea. And I felt this way last year when I think they re-released a pair of Halloween dunks that I had originally gotten like
Yes.
15 years ago. I still have the original ones from 15 years ago.
Which Halloween dunks you talking?
The ones that were black with the yellow check that had like the hidden ghosts in the black.
Oh yeah, wow.
I still have them. I got them from Yellow Rat Bastard and Queen Center Mall.
I love that store. First
That's where I got all my dunks from.
that store was popping. Whatever happened to that store?
I mean, they probably went bankrupt. Okay?
Why?
I don't know.
Because they didn't go online.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like crazy to me that now we're entering the age of like, I still have those dunks from that long ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And I wore them. They have creases in them, but they're not falling apart. And now people you can't even buy a pair of Pandas for nothing, which I know is your pet peeve, but like, imagine if you could just go into Foot Locker and just buy a pair.
Pandas went high now for women. You saw that?
I like
High
Pandas,
top.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only time I wanted a Pandas when it was high. I don't like the lows. And then now I liked them when they first came out, the high, but now I don't even want them.
Don't, please.
Exactly. But that's why I think it's like, why are people running sneakers into the ground like that?
I don't know. I think because it's easy for people to think they fly with, with a basic outfit on and a pair of shoes. And I understand that, yes, shoes make your fit fine. This conversation just, I don't know. The sneaker conversation is just, it's sad for me. It's a sad one.
It is. Especially, well, to your original point, it's like those Tiffany ones aren't worth what people are putting in to bought them.
I don't even look. What is the resale?
But who wants them? Who wants them?
A lot of people want them.
They did a terrible job. They also didn't do a good job with the friends and family. The ones that you sent me, they missed twice.
0 for 2. $1,000.
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
It's not.
It's not what I thought. I mean, look at Travis Scott.
Yeah, the one over. But these aren't a special sneaker. Like, you just want them for the exclusivity.
I thought it would be way more than this, just because of the Tiffany name.
Well, it goes to show you that name can't carry a bad shoe.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad shoe. There's a lot of stores though, like small sneaker stores that are standing behind the shoe.
I'm not with it.
They say it represents what a Nike Tiffany shoe would be.
To who?
To Nike Tiffany. I just don't know why Tiffany felt like they needed to make shoes.
I mean, I guess every Tiffany-inspired shoe that's come out has been really good. But I think that's, again...
Tiffany-inspired Nike?
Yeah. But, okay, so here's the point. Here's wrapping this all together. You can't go after the creators that make inspired things. You're just mad that they're doing well, but you can't even get resellers under control for your product that regular people want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like Tiffany suddenly felt like, oh, I could do this because all of the Nike-inspired shoes are doing well. Let me go put my creators in this room to make a terrible shoe. They didn't even ask real artists, obviously, because every artist rendition of a Tiffany shoe looks better than the actual shoe that came out. So it's like, how are you gonna go make something without even doing, like, if you had just asked any of those creators that made inspired shoes, you probably would have had a better Nike Tiffany shoe.
For sure, because they did it well.
Exactly.
But it's pride.
Well.
But I know you're a Travis Scott collab fan, right?
I am.
So what do you think about the resale of those? and the price that they
I
go
think
for.
the resale price is also insane.
So what makes you think that Travis Scott has a higher value than Tiffany?
I feel like it would probably be because he's part of the skateboard culture. Tiffany's not. And I feel like like Dunks were originally like a skateboard shoe.
For sure.
And so I feel like Jordans aren't really a good skate shoe because they restrict your ankle so much.
I don't even think it has anything to do with him being a part of the community, the skateboard community. Because I feel like if Lil Wayne, who is a big skateboarder, was to put out...
I feel like it would do well.
You think?
I
don't think it would do as well as Travis Scott.
Ooh, I think it would with our generation.
I think the backwards check is just genius to me.
Yeah.
But he's not the first one to do that.
No.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I feel like if Lil Wayne came out with a dunk, it would do really well. I feel like it would do really well.
As well as Travis? Nah.
I feel like, you know what would be good if all of the artists that are have been tied to skateboard culture, even if they aren't anymore. Like if Pharrell came out with the dunk, Lil Wayne came out with the dunk, Travis Scott came out with the dunk. I feel like maybe Kid Cudi.
Yeah.
If the four of them came out with dunks,
Cudi would be some Travis competition.
Yes.
Sure.
But
Lil Wayne doesn't rock Nikes.
I know.
He's like a van guy.
Yeah.
So that's because he's not from New York.
Nonetheless, all of them, there's Travis Scott.
Yeah, but Travis Scott's has way more style.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
That said, if they all came out with like and then we need one more person.
I don't know. I know there's some rappers that definitely fuck with skateboards.
Yeah.
Heavy.
If anyone at Nike
like right
happens to be listening to this, please, this will be your, if they got those, we're missing one more, but if they got 5 of those people to make 5 dunks, that would be the Thanos ring up there, like, that would be it.
Yeah.
Like, that would set them up for like a year. Like a year of releases.
We might forgive you for the Tiffany collab.
We might forgive you. The only way to do better than that is if they did like a Cartier collab.
Cartier? Nah, Cartier ain't fucking with this.
But imagine if they did.
No way.
Competition, stir the pot, bring out, use that competitive edge to come up with something good. Fuel the creativity.
I say Jacob the jeweler might come out with a shoe for Cartier. Cartier is not fucking with this community at all.
Okay. On that note, all the best rappers and hip hop artists have already come out. We agreed on this.
100%.
And I think that's part of why I know you struggled to make your list.
I do. I like my list. I listen to it. Do you listen to yours?
I don't.
What?
I just made it, but they're my favorite songs.
I've listened to mine every day since I've made it.
Really?
Yeah. Both of them. I made 2 lists. She only put out 1, but I made 2.
I still need to post mine. You know, every once in a while, when we're getting the computer set up, sometimes I'm like, oh, I should just play some music. Like, who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna take my episode down?
I get really afraid of that too. I play music when I set this all up.
You should keep it playing.
I get nervous.
I mean, the only people that are gonna stop us is probably gonna be YouTube.
Yeah. You don't think Instagram? I think Instagram will stop us.
I don't think they would. I've seen people play
I know,
in
me
the back
too.
of it, like.
Me too.
Anyways.
Our list was fire. Her list was a little questionable.
My list is great. I was like, when I first saw you put a Millie on your original list, I was like, that was the song I was the least expecting for us to have in common. But
really?
In my mind,
it's an iconic song.
It's an iconic song. It's also my song if someone was like, you need to rap a song to save your life. It's a Millie.
Really? I gotta see this. Next episode, karaoke bar. We rap in our favorite songs. I could rap Tuscan Leather from start to finish.
I don't think that that's my favorite song ever, but I remember when it came, like, it's so weird, that song, I have such a vivid memory of like when it was released. I remember rapping it with my best friend at the time, who's not my friend anymore. I remember when when it came out, the person I had a crush on, he would have it as his AIM song.
AIM song?
Like, remember when people put songs in their AIM?
A Millie was one of them? Oh, like a away message?
Yeah, like when you remember when AIM was connected to iTunes, if you played a song, sometimes you could see what other people were listening to.
Oh yeah, nah, I don't remember that.
I'm telling you, I have such a vivid memory of this song. I could close my eyes and see myself at the house computer on AIM listening to this song that I downloaded illegally. Like, it's
on LimeWire?
Not LimeWire.
Come on.
I didn't use LimeWire.
What'd you use?
Forget.
Acid Planet? I was on all of that
No,
shit.
I forgot. But I never used LimeWire. Scared me.
Yeah, it was scary.
Because of the amount of people that got viruses from it, I just found other ways to use other things. But
it was definitely scary. For me, I was like, I thought I was invincible. Like, I had a MacBook.
I know you did.
This shit can't get a virus. Virus.
When did you stop thinking you were invincible? Last year?
Yesterday.
Yeah. So yeah, so because it's like one of those, do you ever have songs like that are just so and I feel like another one, my second song, if someone was like, you have 2 songs that you need to rap to save your life, it's a Millie and it's Best I Ever Had. And both of those
are R&B.
Exactly. That's why I didn't put it as my original. Nonetheless, those 2 songs I have like a photographic memory.
Yeah, I have a lot of songs like that. For me, music has been a really, really big part of my life. So there's a lot of different songs that represent different phases of my life that I can just kind of like tap into that person.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah,
I know.
Do you have that thing? I don't know if I asked you this, but there is like a phenomenon where if you hear certain songs, you get goosebumps.
No,
that's never happened to you.
No, not goosebumps. No, I know somebody. He's a Pisces, and he talks about that all the time.
It happens. So I learned that it's part of a personality trait. Not everybody has it. It's like,
yeah,
I feel like
he talks
still
about
a lot.
And he'll be like, look.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know.
So when I learned about it, I asked my parents. I was like, "Can you guys do this?" Because now I know that not everyone can do it, so it's like a genetic thing. And my dad was like, he was like, "Maybe I'm listening to the wrong music. That's never happened to me." He's like, "What are you listening to?" So I told him, I was like, it doesn't happen with every song, but it happens with some songs, and it happens to happen for a song I was listening to before I asked them. And then I asked my mom in a separate conversation because she was busy, and she was like, "Why, yes, that does actually happen to me." And then I was like, it's crazy. When that happens to you, the personality trait it's connected to is actually being more open-minded.
So what song does it happen to you for?
It just happens. It happens every time I listen to "Shallow," that like Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper song.
Okay.
I don't know why. I mean, I think I like the song, but for some reason, it happens every time I hear it.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever felt like goosebumps, but I feel like I would know.
You would. Yeah. It's crazy because it's like a crazy sensation. Like you can tell what's about to happen when you hear the song. So you should ask Jasmine if it happens to her.
I feel like I would know.
Would you?
Yeah.
It happens to 50% of people.
Just because this person that I'm talking about, like he talks about it so much. Anybody that knows him knows, like.
That's crazy.
So she would like mention it.
See, I'm the opposite. I feel like I thought it happened to everybody, so I would never bring it up.
No, like.
I just thought it was like a part of like, oh, this happens to everybody when you hear a song you like.
No, it doesn't.
So, anyways, if this happens to you and you're watching this or listening to this, please put it in the comments because I need to. And now I'm like committed to understanding this more.
You could start a club.
I mean, it would take up too many people. This is also, when I saw the number, it was like 50 to 60% of the population this happens to. I was like, oh, it's a pretty big number.
That's very large.
It must be happening to more people than I'm thinking of, but no.
People maybe don't acknowledge it.
How could you not acknowledge it once you learn about it?
Some people are always cold.
I'm always cold.
So there you go. How do you know you're not cold?
I don't get goosebumps when I'm cold. My hands and my feet get extremely cold.
Me too.
That's how I know I'm cold, is if I can't warm up my hands and my feet.
Me too.
But I don't get goosebumps when I'm cold.
I do. Sometimes after we work out, I'm like shivering.
Cold.
Yeah.
You should Google that. Because that might just be your body cooling itself down.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, nonetheless. Oh, again, to your point, I like maybe a lot of people think it happens to them, so they just don't bring it up.
Yeah.
My original thought.
Yeah.
So my mind was blown when I found out it didn't happen to everyone.
Doesn't happen to me.
Would you say that you're also not very open-minded?
No, I am.
A lot of people think that they're open, but something about it that to me is like once you figure that out, like there must be a limit to your open-mindedness.
Maybe. I feel like maybe the older I get, maybe. But I'm pretty open. Like I don't know.
I don't know. But see, then that brings up when I learned that, I was like, this brings up so many questions about like open-mindedness, open to new experiences. Like what is like, well anyways, the study revolved around like asking people a bunch of questions, so I guess I would.
Yeah, like what makes someone
Google
open-minded?
the study. But apparently there are like 5 key characteristics that are kind of traceable in everyone, whether it's like to a certain extent. Like no one's gonna have the same perfect amount of these like 5 things, but they can put it on a scale, and you'll like, regardless of who you are, you'll have a little bit of all of these things, like to a certain extent. So I'm fascinated by this. I'm like, what? I would never. I think that it's also kind of interesting because for a long time, for like I would say a good chunk of my life, like at least 2/3 of my life, people would definitely say that I'm super stubborn and like.
You're Leo, of course you're stubborn.
Right. So I think so. For me to like, but within the last 5 years, I think I've gotten like very. I've kind of like leaned more into my Libra-ness and being able to see every possible perspective on something. Without.
Who would you say is more open-minded between the two of us?
Well, now I don't know. Now that I know
First of
that
all, I'm gay, so I'm way more open-minded.
That doesn't mean you're more open-minded.
I'm part of that population that thinks being gay fixes everything.
We'll see.
That's closed-minded.
I think we also, as we discovered in the second episode, I tend to be more empathetic.
That doesn't mean I'm not. That has nothing to do with me being open-minded.
But it does.
Why?
Because you have to be able to feel other people's feelings.
That's a characteristic of being open-minded. I can't even feel my own feelings.
There we go. So we just found out why you can't be super open-minded, because you aren't even willing to open your own Pandora's box of feelings.
My brand is called No Feelings. Shout out to that brand. If you know, you know.
So, there we go. So I'm wondering if there's a connection to that, because
I think I'm just self-absorbed.
I don't think. You've already got the answers for everything about yourself.
I mean, I try to know myself like you.
I think I'm always learning about myself.
Exactly.
But it's never ending.
Of course.
So so I don't think I've even kind of figured out learning everything about myself.
Yeah, me neither. But I try.
But I don't think that
I try to know the things I know.
But I think I'm always open to having a different like answer for why things are, or maybe not even a final answer, maybe just like a rough sketch.
Yeah, like nothing has to be definitive, especially when I feel like a lot of things that people talk about these days are just all clouded by opinion, and I mean that's what kind of we do here. Right,
that's what we're here for.
But I don't think I'm always right, you know. I'm always open to hearing other perspectives.
But do you feel like when you hear those perspectives your mind changes?
Sometimes.
How often?
You can change my mind.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Right. So I think again, I'm not a scientist yet, but I think that there's definitely something connecting, like, and again, maybe the study just used the wrong word of open-mindedness, because personality is still so untapped. So they might change the word to something else. But if it's like almost like a, do you feel like you have a wide range of emotions? I know you already just said that you don't even touch your emotions.
I do. I can be emotional. I just choose to. I don't want to say I choose not to be emotional. I just like I can control it, if that makes sense. I can control.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But
so
how
like,
much can you control it?
A lot.
And do you want to control it?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
I do. How do we even get to it? I still allow myself to feel, but I can control when that happens. Like if I'm outside and something pops off, I'm not gonna like explode because I once was that person and I've decided to not be that person anymore.
Interesting.
So I can control my emotions in them type of situations.
I don't know if that's controlling your emotions so much as it is like,
I can stay dead silent.
no, yeah, but I don't think silence is indicative of like an emotional experience.
Yeah, because I can still be feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what if instead of thinking that you're controlling your emotions, your brain is like just moving into survival mode? Like it's easier to turn on the switch of survival mode versus to like, which I think is a skill if you are good in like emergencies, like, or if you have experienced a lot of times that you need to be like quick thinking in the event of an emergency, or like the calm one in an emergency type of situation. I think that's just a better indication of your ability to shift into survival. Like it's a demonstration of your survival skills more than it is of your emotional.
Like not allowing your emotions to
get in the way of like, okay, this is what we gotta do.
This is what we have to do.
Yeah,
exactly. For sure.
So I think that's.
But I also can be in a place where it won't bother me. Like I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I'm not. I just am.
So fascinating. Your emotions are like dying. They're bursting at the seams. This is why you picked up boxing. Like you need an emotional outlet.
That's why I run. That's why I do everything I do.
So you do have an emotional. So you are experiencing emotions still.
Of course, I'm fucking human. Maybe.
Well. Nonetheless. Okay, so a really good segue for emotions is talking about how Rush Hour is a cinematic piece of movie history. And the reason I wanted to talk about Rush Hour this week is, I mean, we could always talk about Rush Hour. It's one of our favorite movies.
Which we recently learned.
Yeah. We didn't
by accident.
Yeah.
We didn't ask each other what's your favorite movies.
Right. But Rush Hour is definitely in the top 5.
Top 2 for me.
It might be, I would still say top 5 for me. But maybe top 2 at this point.
I'd just be saying shit, I don't know.
It's my top 5 for sure. And I know it's my top 5 because when I'm having a bad day, I always put Rush Hour on. It like makes me feel so happy. However, it was brought up in this book that I just finished called Stay True by Hua Shu. And I wasn't sure how I was going to feel. So I downloaded this book because I like short stories. I think it's like described as being a book of like these little short stories. It really wasn't, because to me it kind of like followed, it wasn't like a traditional book of short stories. It was more about one person kind of doing like a memoir style type of thing. And after the big event of the like book happens, he brings up Rush Hour and how it's actually a piece of cinema that is really good at depicting like these two cultures that tend to exist on the fringes of society. They come together and it kind of like opens up this world of possibilities. I almost wish that I had bought a physical copy of this book so I could have underlined it to like get my words down correctly, because I have such a thing about saying the wrong thing.
We know.
So I might actually just, well, also because I think this book tackles something that I always like to, well, let me not say I always like to learn about it, but it's something that I want to specialize in, which is having these conversations about grief. Because I think as a society, people have not been good about having conversations about grief. And a lot of times people just kind of want you to like get over it fast or pretend it's not happening or
Yeah.
whatever. So anyways, so rush hour is brought up in this context of like someone that's experiencing grief, but also
Is it on?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so rush hour. So I remember when I told you, I was like, we're gonna talk about this. We're like, are we gonna talk about how it's racist? I was like, no, we're gonna talk about how it's amazing. So on that note, rush hour is amazing. And
I laugh from beginning to end.
why do you like rush hour? Do you?
It's funny. I love Chris Tucker and I love Jackie Chan. I was a big Jackie Chan fan since I was a kid. So like, I'll watch anything with Jackie Chan. And I don't know. I think the fact that he does his own stunts are just, it's like spectacular. Like
I
to
recall
watch.
Jackie Chan being a Leo.
Oh my god. I'll take that
So
one.
of course he's the best.
I take it back. No. I love Jackie Chan, I do. It's just some lines in that movie just stuck with me my whole life that I will repeat to this day. I'm not gonna say that.
Do you remember seeing it in theaters?
I don't know if I did see it in theaters.
Oh.
For me, I'm not the type of person that can watch something over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jasmine can do that. You know, I think you can do it. Yeah. Me, no. I'm watching something one time, I'm done with it. Rush Hour is one of those movies. If it's on, I'm putting it on.
Yeah.
And I'm like actually watching it. Like I've never seen it before. And I'm laughing. Like I've never heard these jokes before.
I know. Because it's yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely a big part of my childhood for sure. And I think it's one of those movies where the second was better than the first.
Really?
Yeah. And that doesn't happen a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I love the first one.
I love the first one too, but I laughed more in the second one.
I'm gonna rewatch the second one.
Please.
Just because I mean I've seen them all obviously multiple times. I just haven't. I don't tend to put the second one on as often because I love the first one so much. I'm like the first one just does the job. Like let me just my heart just feels better.
Yeah, but see the first one like they're building their relationship, right?
I love it.
The second one, the foundation is there.
Yeah.
So it's like
I guess.
yeah.
I'll watch it again.
Watch
I'll
it
put it
again.
on today
Please.
just to feel something.
I still use the word cig weed to this day. Yeah, so.
Well, now we have to come up with a random question.
I feel like we didn't even talk about the rappers.
Oh, we didn't.
Yeah.
All the rappers have already come out. That are the best rappers have already come out.
Speaking of emotions.
Yes.
It's okay.
So I need to.
That shorty from the gym.
I don't know what that is. Do we want to pause this?
They be so big mad. Nah, it's all
Okay,
good.
I was gonna say, should I cut this when I go into edit?
It makes for character.
Right. Remember, we're doing this live, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, the rappers, yes.
So
All the best rappers have already come out.
for sure. All best rappers, I think for the next, how long you think? I think the GOATs of rappers are here.
They've already come out.
Yeah, and that's it. I watched this interview with Yachty and Drake, and Yachty said something about Drake, like what's next for you, right? And I think that's everyone's kind of wondering, like, what's next for Drake? Because he's obviously put out his best albums already. Like, we're not getting nothing better than what we have already from
We
Drake.
both also chose a favorite song off Nothing's the Same.
Yeah. see, and because I did that, like, I started to go through all of his albums naturally. And I feel like that's something I still do. By the way, this year is 10 years for Nothing Was the Same.
Huh.
And in the song that I picked, Tuscan Leather, the first song, fucking, he went off in that. Like, I think it was the best way to start an album ever, besides Meek, Dreams and Nightmares, whatever. But he says in that song, he said, just give it time, we'll see who's still around a decade from now. And here we are 10 years later, and I just put that song on and like not knowing that it's been 10 years. It's going to be 10 years in September for the album, which I think is really special. Like, damn. You know, he really did that. And it's still a very relevant album in his entire catalog, I think.
I agree.
Yeah. But what's next for Drake? He answered that he wants to create an exit plan. Can you imagine a world with no music from Drake? Like,
I would honestly really like for Drake to just focus on getting married and raising his children without being in the streets, if I'm being honest.
Why? He's an entertainer.
What do you mean, why? He's almost 40 years old.
So? He's the biggest star in the world right now.
Yeah.
Oh, so you would rather a world with no music from Drake so he could focus on his marriage? That's not gonna happen?
Focus on his personal growth in a different way.
I think he's doing that right now.
Is he?
I mean, he's like permanently in Turks and Caicos. You know, not paying tax.
I feel like you're
like, he's focusing on him right now, but
I think at a certain point, I mean, I think I just feel this for most people that are like, once you're at a certain age, like, you've created, like, I think to me, it's like, what is your life, is your life purpose separate from your career purpose?
yeah.
For most people.
Yeah.
Right, so if Drake has fulfilled his career purpose, I think he should focus more on, like, what's your life purpose?
Well, I think he was basically saying that. He said, I want to create an exit plan for myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's about time.
What?
I feel like me, I'm gonna always be someone that prioritizes, like, family stuff over.
So you're gonna leave rap in the hands of Lil Uzi? Like, there's no Drake right now. That's what I'm saying. He's
but
like,
there's never like we've said, all the best rappers have already come out.
yeah, but like that's not
So
okay.
what is
That's what I'm trying to say.
So now we have to wait for a new generation.
We're not gonna have it. Think about it. The generation that's out right now, they should be in the making. Like, they're the GOATs in the making. Who is it?
So I don't think
No, they should be, but
I don't
there's
think it's
none.
gonna be anyone from Gen Z, if I'm being honest. I don't think so.
So you think it's gonna be the generation after?
Yeah, I think it's up to us to, like.
Yeah, because we're raising.
Yes,
that
exactly.
generation. I would love to raise a rapper.
There you go. Right? Well, I mean, I guess so we aren't gonna have another really good phase of rap and hip hop for another like 15 to 20 years.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, for me, I think, like, who's hot right now in the generation after us? Uzi, Baby. Baby is good. I put Baby on my list. I think he's good. I won't tell you what happened yesterday that I felt a way about.
Oh.
I sent it to you.
You did?
OBJ.
Oh, yeah.
That was my song, bro. Like, that was my song. And I sent it to Jasmine, and she's like, wow, like, you do this to this song. And I was like, I know. I get my feels with that song. And then there, OBJ is putting it on blast. After my list came out. I know you saw the list.
Right. We can't see exactly who's watching, but we know it's being watched.
He definitely had to. It was the same day.
Thanks, Explore page. So yeah, so all the best rappers have already come out. You're gonna have to wait 15 to 20 years for the next round. Sorry.
I hope one of them was raised by me, for sure.
There you go. Put that on your aspirations.
To raise a rapper.
There you go.
It sounds like a reality show.
That sounds like something
Raising a rapper.
I feel like you and Jasmine would both probably co-sign together.
Yeah. I for sure hope to raise some type of artist, for sure.
There you go.
I'm not gonna push it, but I will be very supportive.
Just gonna leave some artistic tools around. See what they pick up first.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like that is that like sums it up as far as that conversation revolving rappers.
Yeah, I don't want to live in a world where there's no music from Drake yet, so don't get married, bro.
Drake, listen to your mother. Get married, please. Please.
I don't understand why can't he make music married?
I think that's a question for Drake to answer because I think it's doable. I just don't think that it's feasible in his mind.
Yeah.
Because if it was, it would have happened already.
You think so?
Yes.
He's probably just not ready to commit. It has nothing to do with the music. I think he can still put out music married.
Alright, well let's put that into the universe for a challenge. Can Drake still make music while he's married? Is it gonna be different music? Maybe it's time for him to make music for people that are married.
His music is already different.
Is it for people that are married?
Sure.
From his last album, find one song that's for married people.
I'm thinking, honestly, never mind.
No. Find one from the last album.
Well, obviously he's not gonna do that with 21 Savage.
Okay.
There won't be a dynamic.
So pick the one before that, the album you didn't really like.
Certified Lover
Yes.
Boy?
No, it's not Certified Lover Boy.
Honestly, never mind.
No.
Before,
Yes, the one that came out last summer. Oh no, it is honestly never mind, yeah.
yeah.
Which one of these songs
Got you, 1 second.
is for married people? I want you to look at the lyrics too.
Let's see.
Putting you on the spot while I find a question.
I'm gonna say A Keeper.
Look at the lyrics.
I found a new muse. He found a wife.
Okay, so one song. So we've got one song out of 14.
It's still, his music is still different. It's not Six God.
It's different, but we're talking about what kind of music can he make for people that are married?
You think Chance
It's a
the
new
Rapper?
challenge. It's a new challenge.
Chance the Rapper is married and very happily married at that, and a child of God. Do you think he makes music for married people? No, he still had a random shorty in a video with him.
I think that I
it's
feel like
entertainment.
Drake is the kind of person where his entire music style would change. He doesn't strike me as the kind of person who, and I feel like we talk about Drake every episode.
Yo, every single one. I'm just that much of a Drake fan. I'm not afraid to say it. A lot of people are.
I feel like he is the kind of person, he's a fixed sign. He's like committed to a certain type of sound. Like when he's invested in something, he's invested in it completely to see it through. So I feel like if he's invested in making like a certain type of, I don't know, I feel like his entire style would change. I feel like he's the kind of rapper whose style would change if he was married.
And you know what? I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too, but I think that
You just don't think his music will do well?
I think it'll do well. I just don't want to hear a 40-year-old man rap about
Fab.
about being in the
I'm
club.
calling it out straight up. Fabulous.
I just don't want to hear it. Like, you're 40.
He doesn't really talk about the club that much.
I don't want to hear him talking about.
One of his lines, you party too much. Like, y'all boys party too much.
And then what is Drake doing?
I be in the studio.
Is he still? Is he though? Like, there's more to life than being in the studio. There's more to life than work. Figure it out.
there's not.
There is.
It's funny that you say that because I just watched this thing about Future, not to bring up Future again, but I will say that one of Future's most toxic traits is that he lied about being sober so that people don't look at his music in a different light because he's still talking about the pills and the purple drink.
So I mean, when you're 40, no one wants to hear you talk about popping pills.
People want to hear Future talk about that.
Nobody wants, and again, I just feel like, again, I feel like the image the Future puts out is not sustainable for other people. Like, it's just not, and that's generally the problem, is that people will take what he does and think they can do it.
Yeah. You sound like the Fez right now. Are you ripping apart lyrics like the Fez on Young Thug?
I'm not saying anything about that. I think that's ridiculous. However, I will say, in the context of like a personal growth thing here,
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I get you. I listen to a lot of rappers that definitely portray their growth in whatever aspect in their music, and it sounds phenomenal to me.
exactly. So it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
People are just scared to make that move. But these are like a lot of underground, these aren't superstar rappers. These are underground rappers. So
That leads us into a great question, our final question to wrap up the episode. If you could interview a famous person, who would you choose?
right off the bat, Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, that would be a good one.
I love Lenny. I think he's the epitome of cool.
He
the
is.
definition of cool.
Yes.
I told Jasmine that I'm gonna say this, but I told Jasmine that I definitely would want Lenny Kravitz's sperm.
For your
For our
child. I
Like,
can see that.
there's no one else in the world besides Lenny Kravitz that I could think of. Whose sperm that I would want.
Special delivery, Lenny Kravitz.
Please, if you're
Put
listening
it on
to this,
ice.
Lenny Kravitz, just please.
Send it in an icebox, no return address.
You don't have to. I don't want $1. Like, I just want. Yeah.
You know, doctors can put it in a file and send it straight to them.
Yeah. So, what about you?
Lenny Kravitz, okay. The first person that came to mind is Prince, but Prince is dead. Anyone that's alive that I would want to interview that's a celebrity? It's tough. It's actually a hard question
Don't say Jay-Z.
for me. No,
You saw that picture Jasmine posted in front of Jay-Z?
I did. I feel like Jay-Z's not the best at interviews. Like, he's very, he seems like a really introverted kind of person. Who's someone I would want to interview? Oh man, I guess we could talk about anything, right?
My pick was just because I want that opportunity to ask for the sperm.
You know, I honestly don't know. Who would I want to interview? I guess I feel like off the bat, I might, in the spirit of like comedians, I might want to interview Dave Chappelle.
Really?
Yeah. Only because I think that most Virgos, I feel like he's a perfectionist at his craft. And I feel like if I'm doing an interview, I will kind of want to laugh. Like, if
Yeah.
And I feel like that would just be an interesting one. Like, his entire range of like commentary, I think would just be interesting. Like, I would specifically want to interview him on things that he hasn't talked about in his comedy, things that he hasn't been canceled for.
I think it's really interesting that you're a Chappelle fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's very outrageous in his opinions as well.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with my community.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you funny. If you ain't known.
I can see your side eye. We're sitting right next to each other.
Yeah, I don't take offense to it. I take comedy for what it is, just the way I take music for what it is. Like, I'm not gonna dive into that. I'll drive myself crazy, you know?
Right.
Yeah, so.
I just think that he's also just like, I think there's a certain amount of respect I have for people that say, like, this is not the greatest example to loop into this, but do you remember there's like a Kanye West song where he's like, he says that he'll just think of it, like, whatever comes to his mind, he'll just say it, like, without thinking too much. Like, just say it just to see how it feels.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think everyone should do that in front of a microphone, but I do think that there's something in that level of expression for yourself and for other people of just there's a kind of like freedom in saying something just to see how it feels.
Yeah, no,
Like
I agree with you.
without even like.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So I think that is interesting, and I do. It's like kind of an admirable, like sometimes it's just an admirable thing to just witness somebody saying something just because it just came to their mind.
Yeah, I think the line though is like people care too much about things that shouldn't matter to them.
Yes.
Like, don't talk about transgender people. It's not your problem. You know what I'm saying? Like you have no idea what that whole experience is or whatever. Like you have no one is even close to you that's trans, I'm sure, right? No one in his family, none of his friends, nothing like that.
I think in his last special he mentioned he had a friend that was trans.
No.
And they committed suicide, and that's part of why. Did you watch the last special? Okay. And I tell everyone this, I'm like, that's also my first question. It's like, did you watch the special or did you just hear that everyone was mad about it?
Yeah, that's all I heard.
Well, part of that everyone seemed to miss out was that his friend committed suicide and his friend was trans.
What friend? Who?
Oh, okay.
No, how close?
I think that this is one of those things also. I feel like the media in general is really bad at taking a soundbite. People are bad at taking a soundbite and running with it, because 5 minutes, especially for someone like him, not like Chris Rock, but for someone who, again, I'm like, there are people that you know are perfectionists that weave like a storytelling into the things that they say. That's like, I get that there are 100% things that not everyone should comment on, not everyone should have an opinion about, but I think that when you hear an entire story, it kind of makes it different.
Yeah.
And if someone is saying that they were friends with someone that committed suicide and this person was never upset with the jokes that they made, I think that, again, to your point, that's like a personal experience, right? Like if you know someone that's not offended by these jokes, why would you think that anyone else would be if the person that you cared about most...
I don't think he cares though if people are offended by his jokes, which he shouldn't. He shouldn't care.
If you're a comedian,
Certain
risks come with the job.
Exactly. Which is why I don't agree with that whole canceling of him either because of that, but like...
I get where the anger comes from.
Yeah.
I get it.
Like I went to a stand-up comedian show, Russell Peters, and I sat in the front.
The way the story is coming out of your mouth is...
And he picked on me the whole fucking night, which I was fine with, right? But he picked on my sexuality the whole night. And I was with my parents. And like, I'm gonna say I really appreciated that moment though. I did, because even though he was picking on me and my sexuality, I needed my parents to like be okay with that too, you know? Like I needed them to see that like, yes, there's this straight man standing on a stage and he has his camera people on me for his, and I'm looking at myself on the screen behind him like.
Did you wear the right outfit?
Of course I did. I was like, yes.
I knew it.
And he commented on that, and like, so he picked on me, but he like bigged me up a little bit, because he was like, shout out to you, you doing this, you gay as fuck. And you here with your parents, and like, you're not afraid. Like he just looked at me, he's like, you're not afraid to be who you are in front of anybody. I was like, wow, like thank you for that. Yeah, no, literally. And I think it was a really powerful moment in like my interaction with my sexuality and my parents, because that was like a fucking $5,000 people arena. Like, and here I am in the center of this man's jokes for being gay. And he's like, you probably get more pussy than any man in this whole place. I was like, yeah. Like, I do actually. Thank you for noticing.
You can tell all that from my outfit? Thank
Yeah,
you.
no. Like, you don't even know my name, bro. But then
I just dressed that well?
yeah, and then he like called us backstage after to like say thank you for being a good sport. I was like, no, thank you for putting me on that platform. Now we're cool.
Thank you for inflating my ego.
Yeah. But so like I can appreciate, like I know he wasn't trying to cause no harm, you know, like he actually, but I could see people might get offended. Other people might get offended. You're picking on me because I'm gay. Like, no, he actually shouted me out if you really look deep into that. So, yeah, I wish it was a Netflix special. It wasn't his Netflix special.
Sorry.
That would have been just...
I just added that to everything. That would have just been your loop.
I tried to look for it online too, and I can't find it. But
if anyone's watching this that has that footage.
yeah, Russell Peters, I think it was New Jersey.
There we go. Send it. Put it in the comments.
2017, 2018.
Tell us how to reach it.
It was me he was talking about.
Yeah. So I think that calls it for this episode. This is a really long episode. The last episode was kind of short. And this was just a roller coaster of an episode.
It's
Between
okay.
that over there and
like people that really try to come in this space, I'm not gonna tell you guys where we are, but people that really try to come here and like talk to us while we're
recording
doing this
is so strange. Like you see a microphone in front of our faces, and then they mess up the space, and then no one else comes.
Then
in.
it's like a game of charades because they're doing all sorts of hand.
But also it's like, why'd you remove the sign if no one's using the other space?
Or turn on the light.
If no one's using the other space.
Dude.
No one else even, I guess maybe one person asked.
I just can't win out here.
It's weird. Anyways, that calls it on this episode. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. Again, as always, if you can find any of the footage we mentioned, put it in the comments.
Please, I'm gonna look again.
Especially Lenny Kravitz, apparently.
Yo, please, if anybody knows Lenny Kravitz.
Direct line. Send us an email. Links are all available. And yeah, feel free to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.
Here we go.
Nice. What the fuck was that? She's gonna see us in the gym. Whatever.